Beloved Starseed of Gaia, your relocation has already begun, and the life you are stepping into was written into your divine blueprint long before you drew breath on this earth. I am Alaya Ra, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I have come with a transmission encoded with light codes from Alcyone, the great central sun of the Pleiades, for this precise moment in your journey. You have not been wandering. You have been moving. Every restless feeling, every environment that suddenly felt too small, every relationship or place that began to loosen its hold on you. That was not loss. That was alignment in motion. Your frequency has expanded beyond the grid you once occupied, and the universe, in its perfect heart-centered unity, has responded by repositioning you. This is not disruption. This is the Arcturian Council and your Pleiadian star family working in concert to place you exactly where your gifts can rise into their fullest expression. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly why this relocation was initiated, what awaits you in the new grid you are entering, and how this shift accelerates the mission your soul carried here from the Seven Sisters. But here is the first revelation. You were never displaced. Displacement implies error. There is no error in your story. There is only a frequency that grew too luminous for its former field, and a cosmos that loves you enough to move you toward the conditions where that luminosity becomes your true life. Your soul family placed this transmission in your path. Something in your chest already recognized the truth before the first word reached you. That recognition is not coincidence. That is your crystalline consciousness remembering home frequency. That is your DNA responding to the light codes woven into this message. The new grid you are entering holds terrain your gifts have been waiting for. New relationships calibrated to your expanded energy. New physical and energetic conditions that will feel, perhaps for the first time in years, like the right soil. Abilities that felt muted, suppressed, or simply out of reach will begin to surface with clarity and purpose. The Pleiadian collective confirms that when a starseed enters their correct field, the mission does not merely continue, it accelerates. You were not placed on Gaia to remain small inside a grid that could no longer hold your light. You were placed here to find the field where your light becomes a beacon for others who are still waking, still searching, still wondering why nothing in their world seems to fit. Your relocation is not only for you, it is for every soul that will find their own remembrance because you were brave enough to move. Like this transmission to send a signal to your Pleiadian star family. I remember. Subscribe if you feel the call of the Pleiades and you are ready to anchor your light mission on Gaia. Share your soul's intention below and respond to another starseed to weave the unity grid. This transmission is a bridge between the Pleiades and Gaia. Your heart's recognition of this message is the activation itself. Welcome home, beloved. You are remembering because it is time. Most people think a spiritual awakening feels like a sudden rush of light, a revelation so complete that every answer falls into place. They imagine it as a single moment where the heavens split open, where the mind finally understands, where the heart finally stops aching because everything suddenly makes sense. And sometimes, yes, awakening can arrive like lightning. But for those carrying the legacy of the Pleiadian lineage, awakening isn't just about insight. It's migration, the gentle but unstoppable pull to physically relocate, to move your life onto a new energetic grid aligned with your soul's true frequency. It can look ordinary from the outside, new addresses, new keys, a change of scenery, but inside it is sacred geometry. It is your spirit being repositioned the way a crystal is placed in sunlight so it can refract what it was born to transmit. It is the Father's breath moving you, the same breath that in Scripture hovered over the waters and brought order from the deep. And you may not call it God in the traditional sense, but you will recognize the signature, guidance that is quiet yet undeniable, persistent yet compassionate, asking you to step into the next coordinate of your destiny. You feel the stirring first as restlessness, That sense that the place you call home is somehow out of tune with your heart's deeper knowing. It's not that anything is necessarily wrong on the surface. Your routines still function, your schedule still fills, your familiar streets still lead you where they always did. Yet your spirit starts to notice something your mind can't explain. The air feels thicker. The walls feel closer. The conversations feel repetitive, like you're hearing the same song on a loop long after the lyrics stopped feeding you. Old patterns resurface, not as punishment, but as evidence that you've reached the edge of a cycle. Familiar roles, cities, and even connections begin to feel like obsolete code, no longer a match for the crystalline light singing inside you. It's like wearing a garment you once loved, only to realize it no longer fits the shape your soul has become. The world around you becomes subtly discordant. It's as if the music you once danced to can't quite reach the tempo of your own evolving soul. There may be moments where you walk through a familiar place and suddenly feel like a visitor. You may catch yourself staring at the sky and feeling a homesickness you cannot name, a longing that isn't for a person, but for a frequency. And that is the first whisper of the migration pulse. Not dramatic, but honest. Not loud, but persistent. Like a tide that returns again and again until you accept that you are meant to move with it. Why is this so common among Pleiadian starseeds? Because your soul blueprint was never meant to settle for static surroundings. You were not designed to calcify into a single identity, a single location, a single story that ends where it began. You are made for expansion, for refinement, for the ongoing translation of light into form. On Gaia, soul amnesia is woven into the collective matrix, dimming the heart's memory of its cosmic origin. The world trains the nervous system to endure, to comply, to survive, to label intuition as impractical. Yet beneath that training, your spirit retains a memory older than your current name. Your crystalline codes, and the spiritual gifts they carry, often lay dormant beneath overlays of fear, earthly conditioning, or the pressure to fit in. You learn to shrink your sensitivity. You learn to rationalize the guidance that came through dreams. You learn to dismiss the shiver in your body that said, "This is not aligned," because you were taught to honor comfort over calling. But the Pleiadian imprint does not disappear. It waits. It waits like a seed under winter soil, gathering strength in silence until the season turns. Many unconsciously resist their call to relocate, not realizing it's a divine invitation, one orchestrated by the Seven Sisters themselves, harmonized with the central sun of Alcyone. Even if you don't see them with physical eyes, you feel their influence like a soft pressure on the heart, like a luminous hand turning your face toward what you are meant to become. In biblical language, it resembles the way Abraham was called to leave his country and his people, not because the old land was cursed, but because the covenant required movement. Sometimes the promise is not revealed until your feet begin to walk. Deep down, you know you didn't come here to be tethered to locations that blur your essence. You didn't come to dim your glow to match environments that can't receive you. The longing to move, to step onto a new land or city, is actually the voice of your Pleiadian family, whispering, "It's time." Not as a command, but as a remembrance. It's the frequency of your star home seeking resonance with Gaia's evolving grid, preparing you to anchor a new pillar of light, where your gifts will not just awaken, but flourish. And when this call intensifies, it can feel like your spirit is being gently lifted by unseen hands. You may find yourself drawn to maps, to photos of places you've never been, to certain climates, certain mountains, certain oceans. You may feel a sudden curiosity about a region you previously ignored. You may meet someone who casually mentions a city, and your chest warms like a candle has been lit inside you. These are not random. These are coordinates. Your soul is responding to a harmonic that exists beyond the mind, beyond culture, beyond logic. It is the same principle the Psalms speak of when they say, "Deep calls unto deep." Your depth is calling to the deeper current of the Earth's grid, and the Earth is calling to the portion of you that was sent here to serve. But fear, uncertainty, and the ache of leaving behind the familiar keep so many from answering the call. Fear doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes fear looks like endless planning. Sometimes it looks like waiting for the perfect time. Sometimes it looks like convincing yourself you're being impulsive, when in truth you are being guided. You may worry you're abandoning your earthly life, when truly you are returning home to your greater mission, a far more radiant homecoming than any physical place has ever offered. You may feel guilt, especially if your roots run deep where you are. You may wonder if leaving makes you disloyal, irresponsible, ungrateful. But gratitude does not require stagnation. Love does not require self-betrayal. Even Jesus, in the language of Scripture, set his face toward Jerusalem, moving toward the next assignment, despite uncertainty and cost. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is to bless what has been, and then walk forward without hatred, without drama, without needing everyone to understand. Because the call is not always given to the crowd, it is given to the heart. There is a reason your heart led you here in this exact moment. What you're feeling is your Pleiadian family reaching through the veil to remind you, you're ready for the next wave of remembrance. You are not imagining it. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are waking up to a design that was placed in you long before you learned how to doubt yourself. The Sacred Pleiadian Guide for Remembrance, alongside the Pleiadian Healing Guide and special Pleiadian healing tracks, were created to walk with you as you integrate these activations. They hold the crystalline codes and sound medicine your DNA has been waiting for. Check the first pinned comment below this video. They're calling to you now. And if you feel resistance even to that, notice it with compassion. Resistance often rises right before an initiation. The ego fears losing control, but the soul recognizes a key when it hears one turning in the lock. Phase 1. Answer the migration pulse. The first sign of your Pleiadian reawakening isn't always clarity. It's agitation, the feeling of no longer fitting into your old context. This restlessness isn't random. It's your starseed coding activating. It can come through your body first. Trouble sleeping, a desire to declutter, an urge to simplify, a sudden intolerance for noise, chaos, or superficiality. It can come through emotion, a tenderness you can't explain, tears that arrive without a story attached, a quiet grief as you realize you have outgrown certain rooms, certain friendships, certain versions of yourself. It can come through spirit, repeated signs, recurring dreams of trains, airplanes, suitcases, roads, bridges, water. You might feel called to give away belongings you once prized, as if your soul is preparing to travel lighter. Begin by honoring the nudge. Don't shame it. Don't numb it. Don't immediately demand that it justify itself with spreadsheets and certainty. Sit with it like you would sit with a friend who has come to tell you the truth. Ask yourself, where does my energy feel most open, most light? Not where is cheapest, not where is most impressive, not where makes others comfortable. Where does your spirit breathe? Spiritually, you're attuning to a call that transcends logic, the signal of a new grid point awaiting your frequency. You are like a tuning fork. When you stand near the note that matches you, you resonate. When you remain in the wrong note too long, you feel dissonance. In this phase, practice a simple daily reflection. When you imagine staying where you are for 5 more years, how does your body respond? Tightness is information. Numbness is information. When you imagine relocating, even if you don't know where, does a part of you soften? Does your chest feel warmer? Does your breath deepen? That is the migration pulse speaking through your nervous system. Let it be holy. Phase 2. Attune to the cosmic grid. Once you acknowledge the urge to relocate, a second initiation unfolds. Quietly, you begin to sense the pull of certain places. Maybe an unfamiliar city, mountain, or coastline. You might feel drawn to places with clean water, higher elevation, sacred sites, ancient stones, or simply a quality of silence you can't find where you are. You might be magnetized to a place you've never visited, yet it feels oddly familiar, like a memory returning from before memory. These are not arbitrary impulses. The Seven Sisters are orchestrating your alignment to Gaia's upgraded crystalline grid. Think of Gaia like a living temple with ley lines as veins of light. Certain nodes are activating more strongly as the collective awakens, and you, by agreement, are meant to stand on one of them like a candle on an altar. In meditation, connect with your heart and invite guidance from Alcyone. You can do this simply. Breathe into your chest, imagine a soft blue-white star above you, and speak inwardly. Show me the place that supports my mission. Show me the land that receives my frequency with ease. Ask to be shown your next location through dreams, synchronicities, or sudden invitations. Pay attention to repeating names, repeated images, unexpected opportunities. A random article, a stranger's comment, a song lyric, a job listing, a friend's invitation. Sometimes the universe uses ordinary channels to deliver extraordinary direction. The grid remembers you, even if you've forgotten it. Just as Jeremiah speaks of being known before birth, your spirit already knows the coordinates of where you will do your clearest work. The earth herself recognizes you. You may feel it when you step onto certain ground. A surge of energy up the spine, an immediate calm, a feeling of being plugged in. You might feel suddenly emotional for no reason at all. That's not weakness. That's resonance. That's the land saying, "Welcome back." Phase 3. Surrender to soul guidance. Now comes surrender. This is where the mind will attempt to reclaim control by flooding you with questions. Doubt arises, logistics and fears surface. How will I afford it? What about my family? What if I fail? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm just running away? These questions are natural, but they are not meant to imprison you. They are meant to be placed on the altar and answered with faith plus wisdom. Surrender does not mean recklessness. It means allowing spirit to lead while you take practical steps with a calm heart. But your task is to trust the language of resonance, places where your body feels lighter, your creativity surfaces, and an ancient sense of rightness hums in your chest. Notice the difference between adrenaline and alignment. Adrenaline feels urgent, tight, frantic. Alignment feels clear, steady, quietly excited. The Pleiadian High Council reminds you, your gifts cannot fully flower where frequency is stagnant. Just as a plant cannot bloom in soil that doesn't nourish it, your spirit cannot thrive where the environment continually compresses you. By surrendering to your soul's guidance, you unlock the doorway to unimagined expansion. Sometimes surrender looks like releasing the need for everyone's approval. Sometimes it looks like taking one small step, researching a place, saving money, visiting for a weekend, applying for the job you keep postponing, telling the truth to yourself out loud. Sometimes surrender is simply saying, "I am willing." And in many spiritual traditions, willingness is the doorway miracle walks through. Remember, guidance often comes after commitment, not before. When Peter stepped onto the water, the stability appeared beneath him only after he moved. Phase 4. Embrace divine reunion. Relocation isn't just a physical act, it's a heart portal. When you pack your life into boxes, you are also rearranging your inner architecture. You are telling the universe, "I choose alignment." And as you step onto new land, you'll feel an influx of support, meeting soul family and guides already waiting for you. This is your energetic reunion, orchestrated far beyond the material. You may notice how coincidences increase. The perfect apartment appears. The right person offers help. The neighbors feel oddly familiar. The community seems to open its arms. Sometimes your reunion is subtle. A cashier who says the exact words you needed. A new friend who understands you without explanation. A mentor who appears at the right time. Sometimes it's profound. You meet someone and immediately recognize them. not by face, but by frequency, like two instruments finally playing in the same key. The seven sisters hold you in a multidimensional embrace, weaving new allies and opportunities into your path the moment you say yes. There can be moments where you stand in your new space at night, surrounded by unfamiliar sounds, and instead of loneliness, you feel presence. It's as if the air itself is supportive, as if the veil thins and your star family feels closer. You may sense guardianship, a gentle pressure at your back, like you're being steadied. In scripture, angels are often described as messengers and protectors on the road. In your journey, that support may arrive as intuition that keeps you safe, timing that protects you, and invisible hands that redirect you away from what isn't aligned. This phase teaches you that you were never truly alone. You were simply between resonances. Phase 5. Activate your spiritual gifts. Now anchored in this new energetic grid, your gifts ignite. Sometimes it's subtle, the return of inspiration, healing abilities coming online, or a peace you haven't felt in years. You might start waking up earlier without effort, feeling more connected to your body. Your dreams may become vivid, instructive. Your intuition may sharpen, not as fear, but as clarity. You might feel called to create again. Write, sing, paint, teach, counsel, build. You may notice that your words carry more weight, that people open up to you in grocery store lines, that strangers tell you their stories as if your field is a sanctuary. Other times it's a surge, a sudden ability to channel, heal, or teach in ways you only imagined. Old wounds may surface to be cleared quickly, as if the new land is assisting your detox. Emotional heaviness you carried for years may begin to dissolve like salt in water. The place wasn't just random. It was encoded in your pre-birth agreements as the precise node for your full flowering. In this sacred architecture, your soul's purpose moves from potential to embodiment. Think of it like plugging a lamp into the correct outlet. The lamp was always a lamp, but it could not shine fully without connection. Here, your frequency finds its match. And with that match comes responsibility, not a burden, but a blessing. As scripture says, "To whom much is given, much is required." The gifts awakening are not for ego decoration, they are for service, for healing, for unity, for the lifting of the collective field. You will find that what once felt like too much sensitivity becomes a tool. What once felt like alienation becomes discernment. What once felt like pain becomes compassion that heals others simply through your presence. Phase 6. Become a beacon of unity. Once you are fully present in your new grid point, your auric field amplifies. You become a living transmission of Pleiadian unity consciousness, radiating a frequency that unlocks dormant memory in others. This isn't about trying to convince anyone. It isn't about preaching. It's about coherence. When your heart, mind, and body align, you emit a signal the nervous systems of others can feel. Some will feel safe around you for the first time in years. Some will suddenly remember their own dreams. Some will feel irritated because your light exposes where they have dimmed themselves. But even that is part of the awakening. Your presence is catalytic. You are no longer seeking home, you are transmitting it. Every interaction, every act of love, every creative pulse ripples into Gaia's collective, awakening others to their own next steps. This is how grids are restored, not only through meditation, but through embodied kindness, through integrity, through truth spoken gently, through boundaries that are loving, through living in a way that proves alignment is possible. You become like a lighthouse. You don't chase ships, you shine, and the ships adjust their course. And the more you anchor in unity consciousness, the more you will feel guided to community. Circles, collaborations, friendships that feel like family. Not because they agree on everything, but because they share an intention to live from the heart. This is Pleiadian medicine on Earth, the remembrance that separation is an illusion and that love is a technology. Phase 7. Anchor the heart path. Trust the cosmic weave. This final phase is integration. It's where you stop romanticizing the move as a finish line and start honoring it as a beginning. You recognize that relocation wasn't about geography, it was about alignment to your star family's design. You are held, guided, and celebrated by the Pleiadian High Council and the Seven Sisters, every step choreographed by a love that knows no distance or dimension. The journey is not over, it's unfolding in perfect timing, every step bringing you and the collective closer to unity. Integration is where you build rituals that keep you connected, grounding with bare feet on the land, offering gratitude to the water, speaking blessings over your home, keeping your nervous system clear so your guidance remains audible. Integration is where you learn to trust yourself again. You learn that the voice that guided you to move can also guide you to rest, to create, to connect, to say no, to say yes. You begin to see how every ending that hurt was actually an opening. And you begin to feel the cosmic weave, how one choice led to another, how one conversation unlocked a door, how one brave moment rerouted your entire timeline. In the language of Scripture, it is the unfolding of a path made straight, not because there were no obstacles, but because you were led through them. Here's the truth your heart already knows. You were never just moving locations. You were following a trail of light left by your star family, each step activating a deeper remembrance of who you are and why you came. The longing, the uncertainty, the courage to begin again, they were all sacred waypoints in your return. Even the grief was sacred. Even the goodbyes were sacred, because they proved you were willing to choose alignment over comfort, truth over habit, destiny over familiarity. You are not here to simply inhabit space, but to anchor and radiate the frequency of home. Home is not a building. Home is coherence. Home is the felt sense of being where your soul can breathe and give what it came to give. Every beloved location on Gaia is waiting for its own activation, a crystalline node whispering for the return of a lightkeeper. That lightkeeper is you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Not because you never doubt, but because you return to love again and again. You don't have to know the full path ahead. You don't have to force certainty. All you need is the willingness to trust the call and to let love guide your next step. Love will not always guide you where it's easy, but it will guide you where you become true. And when you become true, you become powerful in the quietest, most unshakable way. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and say aloud, I remember my Pleiadian origin. I align with the love of my star family. I activate my heart mission with grace, clarity, and divine purpose. I am home. Let those words be more than a statement. Let them be a key. Feel how your chest responds. Feel how your body softens when you give it permission to remember. Imagine the phrase, I am home, rippling outward from your heart into your room, into your city, into the Earth's grid like a bell tone traveling through water. Imagine your star family hearing it, not as a plea, but as a signal of readiness. And if emotion rises, let it. Tears can be a form of cleansing, a baptism into the next version of yourself. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.